Mike's Daily Podcast.
Effizode 485. It's Wednesday, March 20th, 2013, 4 p.m. Pacific Time. Internet talk radio for your imagination. Mike Matthews broadcasting from the last place on Earth located somewhere in Podcastro Valley, California. Today we hear from Chely Shoehart, Floyd the Floorman, John Deere the Engineer. Plus we bring you the segment News Random, where we look at Panda Bears. Large, cute, disturbing.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
And you astronomy nerds know that Voyager 1 has not left the solar system as the headlines were reporting.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
The spacecraft that launched from the Earth in 1977 and was in the Star Trek movie, the first one, where they were all still pretty young and groovy. They met the Viger planet. Viger was Voyager with some of the letters taken out. In reality, it's 11.5 billion miles from the sun right now and speeding away at 38,000 miles per hour. But it hasn't left the solar system yet.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
It's entered a part of the solar system called the Heliocliff. That's probably also the name of a cool dance club, I bet.
Mike's
But I haven't been there.
Daily
But maybe Voyager has.
Podcast.
That mid-30s
Yeah.
hipster spacecraft thing. Oh, look who just walked in.
Hello, my name is Chely Shoehart, the gift shop supervisor, and I'm like a real hipster.
You are?
Yeah, in fact, I sell a lot of hipster clothes in the gift shop now.
Oh, that's smart. So you stopped selling those pods that John Deere the Engineer was growing that were going to take over the world.
Yeah, I thought that was a bad idea to keep growing those.
Excellent. And you killed those when you washed your hair.
Yeah, the water from my hair hit the pot. Didn't we go over all this earlier?
We did.
Okay, let's move on.
Excellent.
Good.
All right. Continue.
Hipsters, they like to go to flea markets and let their hair grow out.
Yes, I see a lot of young bearded men. And they also tend to be on Geico commercials playing mandolins.
Yeah, I like guys like that. They're like so cute.
Wow, you have interesting taste. Oh, look who else just walked in. Hello, Mike, this is Floyd the Floorman. And this is John Deere the Engineer. Mike, I am really sorry that I made those pods that were trying to take over the world that look like snow globes. Yes, you should be ashamed of yourself. I am, a little bit. Can you spank me, please? No, I told you. Not while we're doing the podcast. Okay. Anyway, I wanted to tell you that hipsters, in fact, are really cool people. They are. They dress in an interesting way with clothes that look like they were ripped out of a garage sale from 10 years ago. But I think that's what makes them cool. And, you know, that's what makes the world go round. And a lot of the money that goes into our economy comes from the pocketbooks of those people. So, you know, we should cheer them on. Yeah, I'm as happy as Gallagher at a farmer's market. Uh-huh. Why is that, Floyd? I'm about as happy as a bodybuilder directing traffic. Because I'm Floyd the Floorman. And I watch a lot of Geico commercials. Yeah, those commercials tend to have the hipster guys playing their mandolins and singing on a little fake stage somewhere.
Mike Matthews, I want the phone numbers of both of those guys.
If you work hard enough, you'll get it. So what do you think about Voyager almost leaving our solar system, being so far away, yet being so close to meeting Captain Kirk and creating the first cool Star Trek movie? Or what do you think about Michelle Shocked being shocking and saying some anti-gay comments? And no surprise here, 10 of the next 11 venues she was supposed to perform at canceled her. It is shocking, though, that she would have those views. She seemed a little more open-minded. But according to nydailynews.com, she said, I'm damn sorry. If I could repeat the evening, I would make a clear distinction between a set of beliefs I abhor and my human sympathy for the folks who hold them. So what does she really believe? Who knows? Who cares? I just think her song, God is a Real Estate Developer, is a pretty funny tune. Or what do you think about the cyber attack hitting South Korea? It hit 3 South Korean TV stations and 2 banks as the computer networks and ATM services were halted temporarily on Wednesday, sending a tremor through South Korea's heavily internet-dependent economy and raising questions about whether the attack was carried out by a nation-state, North Korea, or a hacker group. We read your comments on the section emails from email. You can email me, mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. Also email me there if you'd like to be a guest on the show or if you'd like to sponsor the show, mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. Also, check out our website, mikesdailypodcast.com. That is where you can find our link to iTunes and subscribe to us there. More people find out about us if you do that. And you can also rate the show and comment on the show there. You can also find our link to our Facebook page, where to Yelp about us, where to find our Twitter, and our YouTube channel, all at mikesdailypodcast.com, as well as the blog and the podcast picture. It's all there at mikesdailypodcast.com.
News Random.
And Michelle Shocked made those comments, by the way, at Yoshi's in San Francisco. This was on Sunday night. And I only find that interesting because that's when I ran into Kenny G, was the night he was about to play at Yoshi's. He was sitting at a bar, actually at a restaurant out there on their patio near the ferry building along the Embarcadero. He was sitting out there, and I walked by and I thought, gee, that looks like Kenny G sitting by himself. And then I looked on my smartphone and saw that he was performing there that night at Yoshi's, whatever it's called. I've never been there. It's called Yoshi's because you see how much it costs to get in, and it's like, oh, geez, that much for a drink? Anyway, I pulled out my little clarinet, played a sappy little smooth jazz song, and continued on my way. Anyway, News Random today, Panda Bears. This story from Positive News, a newspaper that comes out seasonally. This is from winter of this year. It says, using DNA methods on excreta, scientists have doubled their estimates of the wild panda population in a nature sanctuary in China. A zoologist at the Chinese Academy of Sciences and a member of the research team said the researchers believe that as many as 72 pandas may be living in the Wang Lang Nature Reserve, more than twice the previous estimate. The team took samples of panda droppings in the reserve and developed genetic profiles to draw the conclusions. The rising numbers are probably the result of natural population growth, migration from other areas, and the effectiveness of conservation policies, such as a logging ban to preserve panda habitat. He says, we're really seeing these policies start to have an effect. Only 2,000 giant pandas exist in the wild, with about 300 more in captivity. And every time I try and see one at a zoo, they end up closing the exhibit early, and I get there too late, and there's too big of a line, and it's annoying. But deforestation in China has destroyed the panda's habitat and depleted its food supply. Pandas are also subject to poaching. Native to Western China, this adorable endangered animal has become a national emblem for its homeland. And apparently its poo is powerful. You know, I go on a lot of walks with my dog, Basil the Boxer, and if I were to use excreta and DNA methods on that to see if there is a growing population of dogs, I would come to the conclusion that yes, in fact, the dog population is doubling, nay, tripling, quadrupling, quintupling, because people never pick up the dog poo. As we've covered this in this podcast, they pick them up with the bags, tie up the bags, and then just leave it there on the side of the trail and never pick it up. That's brilliant. I wonder if that's just in California this is happening. In Podcastro Valley. At least pick up the stuff and throw it away. How difficult. It's in a bag. It can't hurt you if it's in a, well, if the bag breaks, but you shouldn't be using crappy bags, if you will. You know, there's just some responsibility that needs to be taken by dog owners. Dogs can't help it. When they gotta go, they gotta go. And we gotta go outside the last place on earth where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro Valley, California. Oh no, don't step on that doggy bag full of poo.
And here's today's podcast picture.
Actually, that bag was full of panda poo because it was a Glad bag. But I'm not a very Glad bag standing next to that. So let's move over here and talk about the podcast picture. Today is a Basil the Boxer walking towards Lake Chabot, where we have heard reports of people leaving their dog bags along the trails there and how it's upset Podcastro Valleyans. But this is a nice picture. It's a beautiful picture. Not too long ago, I took that picture. And the hills are so green here in Northern California right now. So beautiful. Almost Ireland-like. And it's no surprise that not too far away from here is a town called Dublin. Because this time of year looks seems like very Ireland. However, in a couple of months, it'll all be brown, and we'll be back to the Golden Hills of California look. But there he goes, running off to Lake Chabot, and I think in my hand is a camera, obviously taking the picture, and in the other hand, I think I had a dog bag. And I don't think that bag was a very good one. So it was warding off evil spirits, that bag. A little stinky.
Hi, Matthew. We sell reinforced plastic doggy bags in the gift shop.
Well, thank you. I might purchase some. How much are they?
The cost is 1 Kate Upton.
A Kate Upton. Oh. Are you referencing that kid that got Kate Upton to be his prom date? Like, how many times has that happened? Taylor Swift did that a couple times. So many people do that stupid publicity stunt. And the poor kid gets, a little bit of fame for 12 minutes. Not quite 15, but 12. And then he goes back into obscurity. And keeps telling all his friends the rest of his life, even when he's old and bald and overweight. Kind of like the ship I'm in. And they go, oh, I dated Kate Upton when I was just a little teenager. Ooh, did you get to dance with her? Or hold hands or anything? I had to stay 50 feet at all times. Oh, that must have been fun. Get away from me, I'm old and bitter.
I got you, what are you doing?
That was supposed to be a character voice.
Oh, what's that?
It's when you do a character, when it's not a real person, but you're doing the voice. And it's supposed to be a skillful thing to do, but most people just find it annoying. Like Matthews, I don't find it annoying. In fact, I find it quite entertaining, because I'm Floyd the Floorman. Where's Kate Upton? She's not here. We were just mentioning her in passing. Oh, because I wanted to ask her what kind of lip gloss she uses. I guess that is a good question. John Deere, the engineer? Mike, I want to tell you that I am not the one that created the cyber attack on South Korea. Good. That's good to know. Also, I am not the one that caused the Voyager to leave the solar system. It hasn't left the solar system yet. It's just in a different part. The Helio... what's it? The Helio Cliff. Oh, yeah. That's where Floyd the Floorman and I met. Oh, how romantic. But don't say that really loud, because Michelle Shock will get really mad and stop her concert and start bashing you. Michelle Shock is the Dennis Miller of obscure 90s folk music. Oh. Thanks for clarifying that. Tomorrow we will bring you the segment The Bottom of the Charts, plus we'll hear from Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, and the Brewmaster.
Hipsters, they like to go to flea markets.
And grow facial hair. But those are two really fun activities.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!